It's about somebody who's trying to be good and he keeps messing up is really what the show is about. It's about that seeking, how do you say seeking, Bilalawi?
There he is, back in action.
If you were to run into a run-of-the-mill Egyptian guy right now and you want to explain the show to him and why would you want him to watch it, what would you say?
It's funny because it would almost be like describing the show to my dad.
The most awkward conversation you could have possibly.
It's just the most awkward conversation. It's interesting because in a lot of ways, the show is, it's for people like you and me, right? Like I look at you and I'm like, oh yeah, like I feel like we'd probably hang out. Like it's kind of for conversations that we're having in the intersection we're standing at. I sometimes don't know how to explain it to people who aren't in that intersection, but in the most simple way, it's about someone who's trying to be good. It's about somebody who's trying to be good and he keeps messing up, and he sees who he wants to be, but then there's where he actually is. And so just watching someone try to fill that gap is really what the show is about. It's about that seeking. Rami season 1, we really look at the aspirational part of him trying to figure out who he is. And I think season 2 is much more transformational. We kind of see that he realizes who he is and he's got some problems that he really needs to figure out. And we watch him try and transform it. We watch him try and step into his faith in a really concrete way, in a way that he hasn't before. There's nothing here that's happening to this family that I don't think is happening to other families in slightly different shades. And I think that's what's so fun about this show, is that this isn't just about Arab problems. This is about human problems, and then we look at them through the Arab lens. And so it's exciting to have all the characters kind of grow into these conversations and topics. And then you feel like, oh, this is only Arab, like Hassan's only Arab. But then anyone who's Greek, anyone who's Hispanic, anyone who's, all these other cultures are like, oh man, we have that, we have this, we have that. And so it becomes really exciting because I think it just shows how we're all dealing with the same stuff.
One of the by far most admirable aspects of the show is the side characters, who really grow from side characters to fully realized characters on their own, be it Maisa or Farouk or Dina. And this season you had 4 episodes dedicated to these characters. Was that based off the reactions of people to season 1's episodes, or this was something you always wanted to do as well?
I live for the ensemble as well, and I love writing for them. I love directing them. I love doing all of that. A lot of times even more than me being on screen myself. I started in stand-up. I do stand-up.
Because they'll find out I'm Muslim. The second they find out, crazy question, why do you make them wear that? I'm like, who?
I already have enough experience of being the only person on stage. What I really like about a show like this is the ensembles.
How do I know I'm not just another one of your desires? I don't want to have sex with you.
Perhaps one of the most random yet perfect headlines I read last year, that Mahershala Ali is coming on to season 2. How did that come about?
Mahershala Ali he's just an amazing person. He reached out just as a fellow practicing Muslim in Hollywood saying, I'm so happy you made a show where this guy is actually trying to make his faith a part of his life. We had a really great conversation just kind of based on that grew into, maybe we'll hang. And then it very quickly became, do you want to be on the show for 1 or 2 episodes, which then grew into a really big season arc for him.
The music took a bigger part this time. You got Warda, you got Abdul Halim Hafez, and that was their season 1, but now it's even more so. Was that something conscious that you wanted to include?
To have the Arabi music is so exciting to me because it creates this link. It's like almost this historical link, right?
بتخانق بسرعة في الزحمة تقريبا بحس إني بغرق حبيبتي في خطر على البشر أختني وهشتري مقبأ زي
We got to put Skusku in this season, which I was like really excited to just put some, Egyptian rap that I feel like is something that really obviously people, on a US level don't know about. And it creates this link that's so exciting because people watch this show all over the world and then they're like, oh wait, I want to look up Masriin, I want to look up Warda, I want to look up, and you kind of go on Google and find out about a song, and then you kind of end up finding out about Egypt because you just start looking through the history and where it's at. And so the connection that the music creates the Egypt, even if the episodes don't take place in Egypt, is just so exciting to me because of how much I love Egypt.
Now, the show dropped in a really, really tragic time in what's happening not only in the US, but then became a very global outcry against anti-Blackness. What made you reach the conclusion that I want to showcase this and how it manifests in Arab communities?
This show is about conversations, or starting conversations, that I think we should be having. I think that we definitely get a bad go in the media in terms of being Arabs and Muslims, but I don't think that we're fragile. I think we're really strong, and I think that our humanity still shines. And so I think that I don't want to ever make anything that's just plainly protecting us. I want to make something that really opens up conversations that we need to have. And so I focus on making a show like this for my communities and for really wanting us to have conversations that we're hiding. And I think that the idea of anti-Blackness in a lot of cultures, right, and anyone who considers themselves a person of color, this is a really big topic. And we have a Black sheikh, and we have him and his family, and it felt very important to bring it up. And it was really weird how timed it was to what ended up happening almost immediately on the day the show launched.